You already know the basics: eat cleaner, move more, get some sleep. That stuff works, no doubt. But let's be real, it's not exactly exciting anymore. And if that advice alone was enough, most people wouldn't still be struggling. So, what if I told you there are actually some low-key, science-backed tricks that can quietly help you burn more calories, reduce cravings, and get your diet working harder for you without turning your life upside down? These aren't gimmicks. These are the kind of things that fly under the radar. But once you hear them, you're like, wait, why didn't anyone tell me that sooner? Like this, using red utensils when you eat. Sounds ridiculous, right? But there's actual research behind it. Red is a color we naturally associate with warning signs, stop signs, danger, don't go there energy. And our brains don't just respond to that on the road. They respond to it at the dinner table too. In a study where participants ate the same exact snack, the ones who used red plates or cups ended up consuming less. Not because the food changed, not because they were told to eat less. Just because red subtly signaled them to slow down and stop sooner. It cuts through that autopilot we often eat on while scrolling, watching something, barely noticing. A red fork or plate triggers your brain, hey, maybe that's enough. Is it going to melt fat overnight or stop you from eating 3 slices of cake? No, but that's not the point. The power here is that it doesn't rely on willpower. You're not forcing yourself to eat less. You're nudging yourself to be more aware without trying. And that's massive when you're aiming to stick with a plan long term. It's the little things that stack up. You're not counting every calorie or obsessing over macros. You're just using the way your brain already works to your advantage. That's what makes this stuff sustainable. Anyone can switch a plate or grab a different colored fork. No tracking apps, no extra effort. Just subtle control, and that's a game changer. Now, let's shift gears. This next one taps into something you already feel every winter: cold. But instead of avoiding it, you use it. Specifically, controlled exposure to cooler temperatures can get your body to burn more calories behind the scenes. Not in a move to the Arctic kind of way, just enough to get your system working harder. Here's how your body wants to maintain a steady internal temperature. When it gets chilly, it fires up energy to stay warm. That process? It burns calories. Even better, it activates brown fat, the type of fat that actually burns energy to produce heat instead of storing it. So no, you don't need ice baths or to freeze your face off. But lowering your thermostat slightly, spending time in a cool room, or going for a brisk walk without bundling up too much can kick this response into gear. Even drinking cold water forces your body to use energy warming it up. It's small, but it adds up. And like the red utensils, it's passive. You're not dieting harder. You're letting your environment quietly help you burn more. That's a smart edge most people never think about. Cold exposure may also help with cravings and inflammation. If you're someone who's constantly hungry or always bloated or achy, this can give you that subtle edge without touching your food. Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort. They keep rooms toasty, bundle up, sip warm drinks all day. And in doing so, they keep their body in conservation mode. Flip that just a bit, and your body starts working for you without even knowing it. This isn't a replacement for real effort, it's an enhancer. A subtle layer of support that quietly reinforces the work you're already doing. And that sets the stage for the next shift, one that seems almost too simple to matter. Let's talk chewing. Yeah, seriously, chewing more. It might sound like a throwaway tip, but it can completely rewire the way you eat. Most people eat too fast. Chew a few times, swallow, repeat. The brain barely gets a chance to realize food is coming in. That lag? That's what leads to overeating. You're full, 10 minutes too late. But when you chew more, really slow it down, taste the food. Take your time, everything changes. Your body starts registering fullness earlier. You process your meal better. And studies have shown that even slightly increasing the number of chews per bite can lead to eating significantly fewer calories at a meal without feeling deprived. You're not tracking anything. You're not portioning things out. You're just letting your body keep up. It also helps with digestion, satisfaction, and awareness. If you finish meals and still feel hungry an hour later, this might be the reason. Eating slower tells your brain that food happened, that you're good, that you're satisfied. No need to count chews or time yourself. Just pause between bites. Notice your pace. Stop multitasking during meals, and watch how your body responds in energy, hunger, and control. And when you're chewing more, it naturally works better if your food gives you something to chew. Which brings us to another tweak: lean into foods that make you work a little. Crunchy, fibrous, high-volume stuff, not just for their low calories, but for the physical experience they give you. A bag of chips disappears in seconds. A raw apple or a bowl of chopped veggies? That takes effort. That fills you up. That makes your brain say, okay, I've eaten something real. That's the difference. It's not just about nutrients. It's about texture, volume, and how long something stays in your mouth. The more time and space a food takes up, the more likely it'll satisfy you without needing to eat more. Your stomach has stretch receptors. The more volume it holds, the stronger the signal to your brain that says, I'm full. That's why a massive salad with protein can leave you more satisfied than a tiny calorie-dense snack. Same calories, totally different impact. You don't need to give up your favorite foods, but mix in the crunchy stuff more often. Replace one soft snack with something that actually takes time. You'll eat slower, feel fuller, and snack less later. And speaking of snacks, this next one is almost laughably easy, but wildly effective. Brush your teeth after meals. Yeah, it sounds too basic to work, but it cuts off cravings like nothing else. That minty freshness tells your brain, we're done here. It works especially well at night, that post-dinner window where the kitchen starts calling your name. Try brushing your teeth right after your last meal. You'll be amazed at how fast that craving switch flips. Sweet snacks don't mix well with mint. It throws off the taste, makes them less appealing. And more than that, it creates closure. A simple ritual that says, eating time is over. Some people take it further. Minty gum after lunch, a quick rinse after a snack. Not to replace brushing, but to create that same boundary. When your mouth feels done, your brain stops asking for more. It's not about effort, it's about strategy. And once you feel that craving fade just from a toothbrush, you'll never unsee it. Quick pause. If you're finding these tips helpful so far, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Now, zoom out. Because what surrounds you plays a bigger role than you think. Let's talk environment. You want to eat better? Start by moving the junk out of sight. That's it. Just move it. If snacks are on the counter, you'll eat them. If candy's on your desk, you'll grab it not because you're hungry, but because it's there. But if the junk is tucked away on the top shelf, in a closed container, behind something else, that tiny moment of friction can break the habit loop. You pause. You think. And sometimes that pause is all it takes. And it works in reverse. Put the good stuff in plain sight. Fruit on the counter. Water on your desk. Prepped meals front and center in the fridge. Make the easy choice the right choice. It's not about perfection. It's about removing temptation from the spotlight. You're not eliminating options, just hiding the loud ones. Even packaging matters. Put chips in an opaque container. Break bulk snacks into single servings. Create micro roadblocks. They don't stop you, but they slow you just enough to help you make a better decision. Because let's face it, most bad choices happen on autopilot. So if you change the autopilot, you change the outcome. Speaking of autopilot, your senses might be leading you off track too. Specifically, your sense of smell. It sounds weird, but certain scents, especially peppermint and green apple, have been shown to curb appetite and reduce cravings. In studies, people who smelled peppermint oil throughout the day ate fewer calories. No diet, no plan. Just scent disrupting their usual patterns. Why? Scent is tied to satisfaction. Smelling something strong, clean, and refreshing can make your brain feel like it's experienced something, even if you didn't eat anything. Peppermint creates a kind of mental fullness. Green apple, with its sharp, clean edge, does something similar. And that shift, even if it's small, can keep you from reaching for that afternoon snack out of boredom or stress. You don't have to walk around sniffing oils all day. Just use it intentionally. A minty candle, a drop of oil, a piece of gum. It's a cue, a disruptor. Something to snap you out of that reflex to eat when you're not even hungry. Cravings aren't always physical. Often they're emotional, habitual, or environmental. Change the cue, and the craving often disappears with it. And now, let's talk about something internal. There's a small move you can make first thing in the morning that honestly shapes how you eat the entire rest of the day. Protein. Just a little bit. You don't need a full meal, not even 20 grams. Even 10 to 15 grams of protein early in the day can, shift your hunger hormones in your favor. Here's why in the morning, your ghrelin, that's the hunger hormone, is climbing. If you skip food or go with something sugary, you basically fuel the fire. Cue the cravings, the energy crash. But a small hit of protein, it flips that response, balances blood sugar, increases leptin, the I'm full hormone. Your appetite chills out. You stop chasing snacks all day long. Just a bit of protein within the first hour or two of waking, a hard-boiled egg, some Greek yogurt, a quick shake. That's it. And now that your day is stable, let's fine-tune what's on the plate. It's not about eating less. Really, it's about eating foods that give you more fullness for fewer calories. That's where calorie density comes in. Picture 2 meals. Same calories. One is a handful of trail mix. The other is a giant bowl of lean protein and veggies. Guess which one keeps you satisfied longer? It's not magic, it's volume. Foods with water, fiber, and chew fill your stomach, stretch your receptors, and basically tell your brain you're full. You're not cutting anything out. You're just designing your plate smarter. Stir fries, soups, salads, roasted veggies. These aren't diet foods. They're hunger control tools. And when you stop fighting your body with tiny high-calorie meals and start working with it using bigger, smarter meals, the whole process feels easier. Finally, one last habit that, honestly, ties it all together. Walk after meals. Not a workout. Not cardio. Just 10 to 15 minutes of light movement. That short walk helps your body shuttle glucose into your muscles, stabilizes blood sugar, and reduces fat storage. It also gives your brain a clear break between mealtime and snack time. You eat, you move, and by the time you're done, the urge to snack? Gone. Cravings fade. You feel in control again. Because that's what this whole approach is about, not grinding harder, but stacking smart moves that quietly shift your behavior, your biology, and your mindset. No hype, no rules, just real strategies that actually work, especially when the basics aren't cutting it anymore.